you know what, like, this isn't the route that I want to go. And, you know, my dad having such a rough record in his life, you know, being in and out of prison and dealing with drugs and you know, the gang life and doing all this stuff, I thought, you know, I don't want to be on that path. Yeah. And this is the precursor to that. And I was like, I really, like, this is a sign, you know, this is a sign from God, the one that exists. This is the sign from him. And so I'm like, I got to do one of two things. And I'm thinking of this as I'm walking to my car, my 1998 Volkswagen Jetta stick shift, 98 horsepower. And so I'm just thinking, I got to do one of two things. I got to either go to college and better my life, or I need to go to the military.
So that's where comes the point in your life where the career that you thought you wanted at the age of 7, 8, and then 15, 16, 17, to being 18 years old, finding yourself in a court for possession of marijuana that miraculously get dropped, and you realize the McDonald's wearing a tie is not the place. The pizza parlor,
not the place.
Not the place. Definitely not going out smoking weed
in front of some random dude's house.
Some random dude's house. What was your decision?
Immediately when I thought of these two routes of, okay, I gotta do one or two things. I gotta either go to college or go to the military. Immediately my brain goes to, you hate school and you hate doing work, right? Like paperwork, like writing things down in essays and like that kind of work. I don't mind like physical work.
Yeah.
And so, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to college. Like, I'm not bred to do school. I'm not bred to do homework. I'm
not everybody
classwork.
is. Yeah,
like, just not for me. That's not an option. It's my only option left is military. So I'm like, this is what I got to do. I gotta just buckle down and go to the military, because me chasing my career as a firefighter, you know, if I'm just sticking around here and you know, spending time studying and taking the test and then getting hired, I'm going to spend too much time with friends that, you know, are acquainted with things that I'm trying to quit.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend more time with them, and it's just going to be like a revolving circle kind of thing.
Revolving door, yeah.
Revolving door. And so I'm like, yeah, I just need to do military. I just need to bite the bullet, go to the military. And so, you know, I initially talked to the Navy, and I wanted to be a corpsman, which is like an EMT for the Navy.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be a corpsman, and my recruiter's like, solid, we can do that. You know, you need to take the ASVAB first, and we'll see where you score, and based off of what you score, we'll tell you what you qualify for and things like that. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go and take the ASVAB, come back, and the test takes, you know, a week or two to get to your house. I get to my house, I open it up, I don't know what anything's saying, because everything's all, you know, encrypted in code from what I don't understand. You know, in my experience in the Marine Corps now, I know how to read it, but during that time, I was like, dude, I don't know what this is. GT 135, like, what does that mean? You know, which is really high. And so I was like, I don't know what this is. So I brought it to my recruiter. I was like, you know, I got my test. Like, can I be a corpsman? And he's looking at the test, and he goes, dude, you can do anything you want in the Navy besides like 3 jobs. And so he goes, you scored at 86 on your ASVAB, which basically qualifies you for like anything, besides like, you know, nuke worm and 2 other things. And he was like, the other 3 jobs are boring anyway, so it doesn't matter. So he goes, I literally will not let you be a corpsman. And he goes, just to let you know, the requirements to be a corpsman, you need to score a minimum of like 40. He's like, the fact that you have 86 and your GT score is like 132,
wow. Yeah.
He's like, you can do so much more than just being a corpsman. He's like, I literally won't let you do corpsman. He goes, you want to choose corpsman? Talk to somebody else. And I was like, okay, Jesus. And so I was like, all right, well then what can I do, you know? And so we got around to the discussion of, there was a bonus, a sign-up bonus, if I signed up for intelligence specialist. So initially I'm like, okay, what's the bonus? And he's like, the bonus is $10,000.
Wow.
And I go, that's a sign-up bonus? He goes, yeah, you sign up, you go through boot camp. Once you get to your unit, $10,000. And I was like, dude, that's badass. Like, I want to do that. And so I'm like, let's do that.
It beats the $300 a week at the pizza parlor, huh?
Oh yeah, by a mile, by 9,700 to be manufacturing. So I was like, let's do this. So we start the process of signing up and doing these things. Well, it's taking this guy like weeks just to process paperwork. Weeks. Like, I visit the office, sign something real quick, and I don't hear from him for like 3 weeks. And then, I visit him, and then I'm like, and then another month goes by. And I'm getting tired. I'm like, dude, I want to leave. Like, I want to go to boot camp like now. Like what the hell's happening,
Yeah.
And so anyways, I'm getting irritated with how long the process is being. But finally, I get around to like depping in, and depping in is basically signing your contract saying like, okay, you are officially on record saying that you are going to boot camp, and your boot camp date is this date. So I go to dep in, something goes wrong, and I wasn't able to dep in. So now I need to get a ride back home. And I was in San Diego because the MEP station was in San Diego, and my recruiting station's up here in Orange, so I'm like freaking 2 hours away from home. So I needed to figure out like how to get home, and my recruiter left me there. And so he's like, oh, dude, like I'm up here, like I can't give you a ride. And I'm infuriated. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And so he's like, talk to petty officer, blah, blah, blah. Like he'll ask him for a ride. He owes me a favor. And so like I asked this random like Navy guy, and he's like giving me like whatever, but he does it. So he started taking me home, and he's like, so what do you want to be? And I was like, oh, I'm thinking of becoming an intelligence specialist. And he's a recruiter too, but he just works at the MEP station.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm thinking of becoming an intelligence specialist. And he's like, intelligence specialist, that's fucking dumb, And like just like talking down on the job. And I'm over here like okay, And he's like, yeah, I'm a diesel mechanic. I'm like, okay, cool, Later did I find out that's a fucking dumb job too. Yeah, probably worse job. Like good luck in the civilian sector, buddy.
Yeah.
So anyways, he drops me off, not even at my recruiting station. He drops me off at some other dude's recruiting station in Mission Viejo, which is about like 20 minutes that way. And from there, another recruiter has to take me home. And so I'm like, dude, this whole process is just such bullshit. Like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, And so I had a family friend who was in the Marine Corps during that time, who was a gunnery sergeant. And I was talking to him about my process, and he was like, dude, the Navy's whack. Like, they always do this shit. They're lazy asses, all this stuff, saying all kinds of things about the Navy. And I now understand as a Marine what he meant. So he's like, I have a buddy who works at your recruiting station for the Marine Corps. You should go talk to him, if you want to join the Marines. He's like, I think that died.
Yeah, battery.
Battery's dead?
Yeah.
Did you bring an extra?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, let's, you want to switch it out?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, he's like, I have a buddy who's a recruiter at the same station that you are for the Marine Corps. If you think that the Marine Corps is right for you, because it's not right for everybody, it's the toughest branch to join. If you think it's right for you, go talk to him. He will get you shipped out like tomorrow. And I was like, dude, solid. So like I call up my recruiter. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to join the Navy anymore. Like this and this and that. Leave him a voicemail, right? He doesn't get back to me until like, 2 or 3 days later. He finally gets back to me 2 or 3 days later, and he's like, I need you to come to the office, please. Just like explain why, like I'm in trouble, his petty officer above him. Each branch has their own like head of that office. And so, the head of his office was mad at him because I was leaving, because I was signing up for a job that they needed somebody to sign up for, which is why the bonus was there. And I had a high ASVAB score. I mean, me leaving that office was like, they're losing a client kind of a thing,
I mean, it's like filling a job, basically.
Exactly.
And you got someone, waiting to do the work, and then all of a sudden they don't show up.
Yeah. It's almost like buying a car. You're in the box. You're about to sign off, and you're just like, nope. The sales manager's going to be mad at that sales guy and be like, what the hell went wrong?
What'd you do?
Why did your customer just walk out?
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing. And so he's like, just please meet me at the office. Please meet me at the office. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. So I drive over there, and he like kind of doesn't really want to talk to me. I don't know if it's because he's embarrassed or because he's mad at me or whatever, but he just like kind of does like 1, 2, 3 words, and then he's like, all right, well, my petty officer wants to talk to you. And then she comes out. She's a real serious woman. I mean, she had badass written all over her. And so she's like, I want to know why you're leaving. Like did my petty officer do something bad? Like what did he do? I need to know if there's anything within this process that made you want to leave, so that way I could better the office. And I basically told her what happened. So okay, and she apologized for the experience, and she was like, we hope maybe later on down your years, maybe you'll want to join the Navy. Just kind of gives a farewell. So that day, after I speak with them, I go into the Navy, the Marine Corps office.
Wait. But before you left the office, did she turn around and said, "Petty officer, give me 10."
Maybe behind closed doors that happened. Maybe behind closed doors. It wouldn't be a far-fetched of an idea. But so she walks back to her office, and I go straight to the Marine Corps office. And I'm like, I'm looking for Staff Sergeant Kitagawa, right? Which was the name that I was given from my family friend. And he wasn't there at the time, but there was another sergeant that was working at the office. They were obviously close because recruiters in the same office, they're close to each other. So he's like, I know Staff Sergeant Kitagawa, he'll be here tomorrow, but I can help you do anything you need to do, get the paperwork done, but it'll still be under his name and you'll still be working with him. But I just wanted to understand how far along you are in the process with the Navy and get that paperwork from them and then get this stuff started. And so I was like, so
they all follow the same paperwork?
Specifically the Navy and the Marine Corps, yeah.
Oh,
it's pretty much all the same stuff because the Marine Corps is a branch of the Navy, essentially. It's a section of the Navy.
Interesting.
So I tell him, I wanted to be an intelligence specialist. And he goes, we have that position. And I go, I was like, here's my scores for the ASVAB. I still had it. I was like, here's my scores. Tell me if I qualify. And he looked at it and he goes, you qualify for everything in the Marine Corps. Everything. Like, there's not a single job that you cannot do in the Marine Corps.
Wow.
And so I was like, awesome. Well, I want to do intelligence specialist. And I go, wait. Well, the reason why I want to do that is because there was a sign-on bonus. I was like, do you guys have sign-on bonus? And he was like, we do. It's $8,000 though, not $10,000. And I was like, well, it's good enough for me to I'll do it.
Still beats the $300 a week.
Exactly. So he's like, awesome. So I signed some paperwork and he's like, dude, we'll have you go dep in 2 days from now. And I was like, dude, hell yeah, let's do this, And so, during that meeting, he's like, hold on one second. He gets up and he goes over to the Navy office. 5 minutes later, he comes back with my entire file.
Wow.
And he goes, bam. He's like, here's all the paperwork you did with the Navy. It's no longer part of the Navy. We own you now, kind of a thing. And I was like, damn, these guys are badass. Like, they get the job done, you know what I mean? Plus, the Marine Corps suits, their uniforms were a lot better. So I was like, I feel a lot better now because I was kind of I want to do Navy, but their uniforms are kind of whack, So now I'm excited because I'm
They have the bell-bottom pants?
They do have the bell-bottom pants. I don't know if they still do anymore, but they did, when I served. And so I'm like, cool, the Marine Corps seems like they know how to get their shit done, and their uniforms are better. I'm excited. And so 2 days later, I go in and I dep in, and I'm supposed to ship out, June 2014, active duty, intel specialist, sign-on bonus, yada, yada, yada. So May 2014 comes around, and I get a traffic ticket for crossing a solid double yellow. And it was $250, but I wasn't working at the time. And I had no money. And I essentially asked my mom to pay it for me, and she was like, no. Rightfully so, because I was 18 years old. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, well, I can't pay this. So I was like, you know what? I fought a ticket before. I'll fight this ticket. So I went to go fight it, and they're like, all right, your next court date is July 2nd or something like that. It's like, all right, cool. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh wait, I'm supposed to ship out on June. I don't know how that's gonna work out. So I go to my recruiter, and I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know I got a ticket, and I have a court date for July 2nd or whatever the date was. And he's like, dude, that ruins everything. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, you can't have an open ticket in boot camp. They will not let us ship you if you have an open ticket. And I was like, well, I have no money. So if you want to give me $250 right now, the ticket won't be open anymore. And obviously he wasn't willing to do that. And so I told him, I was like, well, I have no other option. I need to fight this ticket because I don't have the money. And he was like, all right, well, we're going to have to cancel your contract and possibly sign you on something else. And so I'm like, okay, well, realistically speaking, when at this point when can I ship out? And he goes, well, that was the last contract for Intel specialist for the year. So you're gonna have to wait until next year when the MOS is open up again, in order for you to ship out.
Wow.
And I was like, no. I was like, I don't want to wait. I was like, I want to ship out like ASAP. And he's like, all right, well, we'll get back to you on what we can do. And in the meantime, figure out your ticket situation. So I go to my ticket court date, July, whatever. And I explained to the judge, and I'm like trying to, give him this, like, can you at least, make it cheaper? Because when I went to go fight the marijuana infraction, the judge was breaking down the fees for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, oh, you ran a stop sign, fees $500. I'm gonna make it to $80. You go pay right now, right outside the courtroom. It was like everybody's ticket was that way.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, oh, it might be that way for me. I can totally afford, $80, $100 maybe, So I go up and I'm talking to the judge, and I'm like, Your Honor, I'm trying to sign up, to be a Marine in the Marine Corps. I have a ship date, coming up. If I don't have a lot of money, I can't pay $250. Is there any way that, you can cut me some leniency? I am trying to better my life. That's why I'm joining the Marine Corps. And like I go on the story, and he just looks at me with this like stone cold stare, and he goes, Mr. Hernandez, did you or did you not cross that solid double yellow line? Yes, I did, Your Honor. And he goes, the fine's $250. Bam. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what an asshole. Sorry, camera. But I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, dude, I was livid. And so I go to the guys where you pay, and I'm like, dude, I only have like $100. And they're like, that's all right, you can come back in 2 weeks and pay it off. I'm like, okay. So like I pay the $100, I go somewhere, I open a credit line, a credit card, just so I can get this thing paid off. And I finally do it, get that settled, go to the recruiter, talk to the recruiter. I'm like, all right, ticket's paid off. What can we do now? And he goes, well, the only way you could ship out this year, he goes, I have good news, bad news. The only way you can ship out this year is if you join the reserves, right? He goes, that's the bad news. And I go, what's the difference between the reserves and active duty? And then he kind of breaks it down. He goes, it's not necessarily like you're active. You go to boot camp, you go to your MOS school, you come back, and you're only serving 2 days like a month, and then a 2 week period every year during the summer. And I go, okay, well that's still not, it's not too bad. I feel like that'll still supply me the discipline that I feel like I need in order to get my life on the right track. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And he goes, well, that was the bad news. The good news is we'll ship you out next month. And I was like, hell yeah. And he goes, we have 3 jobs that are open that you can do, to be shipped out next month. He says fire supportman was one, and the way he explained this job was fire supportmen, they support the infantry, and what they do is they basically clear out buildings and allow for ordnance designation, something like that, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, that's badass, dude. I get to support infantry and clear out buildings. Like, that's freaking cool. Like, during that time, I was like, that's super badass. Totally not thinking, like, that doesn't apply, that it doesn't challenge me intelligently at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a brute force thing. So it definitely wasn't a good idea, but during that time, I totally thought it was.
So now that you're in the military, and you're in the reserves, right?
Yes.
Was
Done now.
done.
Served my time.
So you never went full time. You only went through the reserves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was a very hard process to go full time with the job that I had, because the job was very, very small in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Drone operator or UAV operator. It's a very, very small area for the Marine Corps. During that time, there were only like 50, 60 operators.
So let's get into that, because that's really what we wanted to get into.
Yeah.
Of this podcast, which was the drone. I'm guessing that operating drones was the technology that helped you excel in your career today. Let's talk a little bit about the whole drone experience in the military.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. We want to be careful that we don't talk about it in the capacity that you're not supposed to. so we don't get in trouble.
Don't worry, I didn't do anything crazy. I always wanted to be shipped out and, serve time and do a tour and all that stuff. Was never able to do that, so all of my experience has been training experience, which is in no way secret or anything that can, jeopardize anybody's clearance, including mine.
Okay.
So anyways, being a UAV operator in the Marine Corps was obviously cool. And even though it didn't sound that cool during the time when I had chosen the job, when I got to my MOS school and met the Marines that I met and went through the schooling and the process and saw the background of, how to operate the drone, and let alone see the drone, feel the drone, inspect the drone,
Be the drone.
be the drone. Yeah. It was an amazing process. Super cool.
So when I hear the word drone, I remember my experience over at Fry's, which doesn't exist anymore. Finding these little drones which were about the size of my hand, like quadcopters type of drone. And then you had the what's the prosumer version, which would probably maybe the size of this pumpkin. Hey, the pumpkin will serve its purpose. The size of the pumpkin, which is probably the prosumer. Which prosumer, for those of you that don't know, professional consumer,
Yeah, we
it's
refer
not
to
professional level, but it's not the your regular consumer level.
we refer to that in the industry as enterprise.
Okay.
So the enterprise line of drones are like commercial use.
And how big are they in comparison to this pumpkin?
Oh, dude. So, they can get very big. So, as far as the enterprise civilian sector goes, I mean, in the Marine Corps, you have like 150-foot wingspan drones. So,
Wow.
So very, very big. But as far as civilian sector, quadcopter, enterprise drones, they can be, 10 feet wide.
Wow.
Really long for a quadcopter. Amazon's working on manufacturing their own right now. That's as far as I can say about that. That will jeopardize clearances. But there's a lot of technology that's behind the drone industry right now, and there's a lot of technology that's also being worked on that will progress the drone industry into a completely different level of where it is right now. The drone industry is booming as far as potential goes, and as far as size, how many pilots are actually happening right now or getting qualified. And the industry is just expanding at an all-time high. A lot of industry experts are comparing this to like the technology boom that happened like in the 50s. Like this is like the new boom wave, because the plans that the industry has for drones is on a very, very large scale. Eventually drones are going to be what runs a lot of things. Amazon, Walmart, UPS, Target.
With transportation and all that too.
Transporting people. The plan is very, very huge. It's going to eventually be a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And right now it's in its infancy.
Yeah. So when you started working with drones, what were the size of drones that you were training?
When I started working with drones in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So in the Marine Corps, during that time, the much bigger drones for the military / government sector, it was big still. So you had the Global Hawk and the Reaper and the Gray Eagle, or I think it's Gray Eagle. I think it's Gray Eagle. I don't remember what the names are. But they're massive, and they range anywhere from, as I mentioned, 150 feet wingspan, 200 foot wingspan, 80 foot wingspan. They're big. The Marine Corps didn't have the budget for that, so we didn't directly handle those. What I worked with specifically was known as the RQ-7 Bravo, which the nickname was the Shadow. And then
and these are like quadcopters, helicopters, or
they're fixed wing. They're fixed wing
so
UAVs.
Airplanes.
Yep. they're fixed wing UAVs. So specifically, the RQ-7 Bravo is a fixed wing UAV with it's a diesel engine.
Holy crap!
It's a
diesel engine
two
on a freaking drone.
yeah. It was a two-cylinder 1 liter diesel engine producing like 2 horsepower or something like that, something small, but it was enough, to get that thing going. It was manufactured, I think, by Textron or AAI, one of those manufacturers. I think it was Textron. So it was a 20-foot wingspan, 20-foot fixed wing, diesel powered UAV. And
so, you're talking about 2 10-foot wings, or each wing was 20 feet?
When we refer to a wingspan within the aviation community,
Yeah.
it's from one end to another end.
Okay. So basically, it would be approximately the length of us 4 laying down head to toe.
Yeah, essentially. Or if we all did this and we just like touched our middle fingers,
Yes,
it would be like
All 4 of us.
yeah, essentially.
That's a pretty big sized drone.
Yeah, it was pretty big. And the way we got this in the air was through a hydraulic launcher. And so this launcher actually was so powerful. If somebody were to sit on it and got launched, the G forces would immediately mush your brain and you would die instantaneously.
Wow.
That's how powerful this launcher was. So we would mount this UAV onto the launcher, right? And it would get pressurized up to 2,400 PSI. And when it was ready to launch it, we would say, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 launch, and this thing would just go boom, and it would go from 0 to I think 70 miles an hour in I think like 0.9 seconds.
Wow. That's
Like
crazy.
it was quick, and it was nuts. It was really cool. Seeing that happen, and let alone controlling the whole operation, was badass. And the way we operated that was what we call a GCS, or a ground control station. And the ground control station was mounted behind a Humvee. So just imagine a huge Connex box behind a Humvee. 2 operators would crawl inside. One would operate the bird itself, where it's going, the flight plan, create the flight plan mission, where it's going to go, at what altitude, during what time, where it's going to loiter, what headings are going to be at what speeds. I mean, all that stuff. He was in charge of that. The second operator was in charge of the payload, which was the camera itself. Now, this camera was so technologically advanced, its worth alone was $400,000.
That puts my iPhone and our little GoPro and the Canon
Just to give
to
you
shame, all 3 of us. That's
just
crazy.
to give you an idea, and there's payloads that are obviously way more powerful, during this time. But just to give you an idea of how powerful this thing was, we could be at 8,000 feet high and zoom in on somebody walking their dog.
Wow.
Right? Like, it was powerful. And not only that, it had laser designation capabilities. So we were able to paint a target, and manned aviation, who had, kill payloads mounted on them, they would be able to just fly by, drop the bomb, and just get out. Prior to us, normally what would happen is a helicopter would be in there, and they would paint the target, and then a fixed wing manned aviation, which was usually F-16, F-18, they would fly over, drop the bomb, and then get out of there. And then the bomb would follow the laser designation, and the laser was actually giving off a code that the missile would actually identify and say, oh, this is the code that I'm supposed to follow. Okay, I'm gonna follow that code, right? So this payload had that capability, and not only did it have laser designation capabilities, it had target acquisition capabilities. What that meant for the drone community was we could directly be connected to artillery units, be in the sky, have direct communication with artillery units. They would give us the coordinates of where they're trying to attack. We would look at that coordinate, and then we would be in direct communication with the Arrow. Arrow would tell JTAC what to tell.
Triangulize basically the trajectory of where the weapons need to
That's
be.
what we were able to do. So normally speaking, a forward observer would do that. The forward observer would be somewhere on a mountain by himself, all alone, talking to the JTAC, telling JTAC what's happening. The JTAC will tell the arrow. The arrow is usually a major or above, and he's the one that's in control of all air operations, everything. He's in control of what's going on in the sky. He's in control of what artillery battery goes where, when they fire. I mean, he's in control of everything. That's who the arrow is. The JTAC is the person in control of talking to all the other people. And the JTAC's usually a lance corporal, so he's like doing the dirty work.
Yeah.
So he's talking to the forward observer. The forward observer's seeing where these shots are landing from the artillery battery. He tells the arrow, oh, it landed such and such. And sometimes he would say, oh, we need to correct from 70 mils up, 30 mils south. They work off mils, not degrees, because working on the mill, mill, using mils. So a circle has 360 degrees, right? If you're working in mils, it has 2,600 mils. So you're able to break that up even further and head around. Exactly. So you can work off very, very finite calculations. So he would give corrections, and it would be a circulating procedure where it would be like, okay, line there, and then he would continue to do corrections until it was spot on.